Wow, I sure am well rested and glad that no major world events happened while I was sleeping. What? I say that every time I wake up. What the fuck? Welcome back to SlantedxGaming, where apparently while I was in sleep, they announced a new Tony Hawk remake? Geez, now I really gotta review Pro Skater 2 before it becomes possibly irrelevant. You know, Pro Skater 2 is one of those games that's often considered to be the best of all time. And if you ask any Tony Hawk fan what their favorite in the series is, you might get the answer of 2, or 3, or 4, or Underground 2, maybe even American Wasteland on the right day. Nonetheless, it's time to finally see if Pro Skater 2 does the impossible and refines the arcade-style gameplay of the first game into something that can be described only as pure perfection. Let's get started. First things first, we'll be playing the PlayStation 1 version today. Not because it's necessarily the best, just because I like consistency with my controller for this series. The game came out on N64 looking pretty dang good with the compromise of no full motion videos or complete songs. And last time, 4 years ago, I actually forgot to mention the superior Dreamcast port, which is pretty much the best way to play the first two Pro Skaters in their original form, looking great without compromise. That mistake has haunted me ever since. That out of the way, let's hop into the meat of the review. Pro Skater 2 is an improvement upon the original in almost every way. It feels a lot less clunky to control and simply get your skater where you want him to go. That would be enough on its own, but things get even better. Pro Skater 2 adds the manual.
Oh yeah.
Ever wanted to string your tricks together along Flatland for even longer and bigger combos? The manual has you covered. A quick up-down or down-up tap on the D-pad will keep your Flatland combos going no problem. Of course, the grabs, flip tricks, and grinds return from the previous game, triggered by circle, square, and triangle respectively. X takes care of your ollies, and a myriad of special tricks can be performed with more complicated button sequences. Special tricks are also way easier to perform here than in Pro Skater 1. Oh, and lip tricks are a thing they added too. Approach a ramp at a perpendicular angle to its edge, and tap triangle to do one. They aren't very good, and half the time you end up accidentally grinding the edge because your angle wasn't absolutely, positively perfect. Don't do lip tricks. The left and right triggers now change your stance to do nollies and fakies and stuff. I don't know what this really means. Pay more attention to those buttons when we come back for Pro Skater 3. Pro Skater 2 starts things off with a banger of a hangar. This first level is more or less an improved warehouse from the first title. A nice enclosed area without too much to get lost exploring, but plenty to experiment with tricking off of, small secret areas to find, and a pretty cool set piece of a helicopter at the center. Here we can start to see how goals in Pro Skater 2 vary from the first game. VHS tapes are no longer the objective. Instead, completing tasks in a level rewards cold hard cash. Thus, more difficult goals now give a bigger reward and help you unlock new levels faster. This system works much better than that of the previous installment, giving you reason to go for the sick high score goal, for example, instead of just completing a few easy find the thing objectives. Cash can also be used to buy stat points so your skater controls better, new decks which are just for aesthetics now, and aforementioned special tricks that can be assigned to multiple button input combos. As we move to the second level, a new and improved school, aptly named School 2, we can start to see a pattern of the types of goals we'll be completing in this outing. 10 total per level, 3 high score, find the skate letters, find the secret tape, find a couple of a certain type of gap, do the skate trick on, over, around the skate thing, and find 5 of some other random thing. Each level is filled with cash icon pickups too, and grabbing all of them is a must to complete it 100%. School 2 gives us a much more manageable campus than the first in my opinion. It's easy to get around and find all the objectives, lots of fun alternate lines to take for building up your score, and there is a goddamn golf cart that wants you dead. It has a secret area that most players can be pretty reasonably expected to find, where you launch off a ramp to nab the secret tape, but it also has a gym and pool to access inside this building. And I can't remember for the life of me how to open it. I've done it before, I've been in there, I know what it looks like. How do I open this door? Was it a dream? Is every copy of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 personalized? Does the door only open for those pure of heart? Level 3 is the first competition level, standard fare for Pro Skater games. In Marseille, France. In France, you'll have 3 one-minute heats to get a high score and impress the judges. Score high enough between your best 2 runs, and maybe you'll take home the gold and a nice big cash prize. Once again, the new cash system rewards you for a better, more challenging performance with different prizes for the top 3 ranks. Unfortunately, there's not much interesting to see or do here. There's a secret area to find, that's pretty cool, and a cash icon floating by this banner that I am convinced some programmer just set down there and never actually tested. What is the intended way to get this thing? New York is next, and what a level this is! It crams together the city streets, Brooklyn banks, a subway system, well, the above ground part, and Central Park into one heck of a level. There's a lot of great potential for lines, and everything flows together perfectly as it forces you to get more creative with your combos. No more half pipes or bowls for an easy way out as the game starts to test you just a little more. Now Venice has no thoughtful design behind it. Let me show you Venice. There is one respawn point right at the start, and that over there, that's out of bounds. Over there, that's out of bounds too. Over here is out of bounds too. Hell, I'm probably out of bounds right now. Son of a bitch! This is not a fun level. It's not fun to find things, it's not fun to skate around and combo together lines, it's not fun to do anything here. This is the peak definition of bad Tony Hawk levels. Well, at least of the Neversoft design levels. I've never met a man who had a good time here, and I never want to. Skate Street Ventura is not bad at all though. Now this is how you take a real-life skate park into a fun level. It's the second competition and has tons of fun ramps and rails to skate on, a pair of outside secret areas opened by grinding the right rails, and even some neat atmospheric touches like a food vendor with tables and chairs to knock over. And who could forget? The big ass halfpipe. Off to Philly, and this is a level. It's amazing how the Tony Hawk games can take a place you've been or even lived in and immortalize it into a great stage. Even if they take a few liberties. Now it hits most of the big sites, including Love Park and a THPS parody of its famous installation alongside the nearby Welcome Center, the aforementioned Liberty Bell, well, Liberty Bells, they're a thing you collect, and the famous FDR skate park. And f***ing SEPTA. Love Park is especially interesting because a huge renovation started in 2016 and it received a pretty big redesign. Even if this version isn't the most accurate thing in the world, it still sort of preserves a location that doesn't really exist anymore as it once did. Unfortunately, they couldn't fit in all the big sites. City Hall was in the beta but ultimately went unused, and the streets don't have that Walgreens where I bought every flavor of Arizona. But you know, I actually really like this one. The final level of the career is the Bull Ring, a competition level in Mexico, and it's quite the finale. High lines to hit, a bull circling the arena, a massive loop, and a helicopter crash. A helicopter. Well, that was me, wasn't it? By this point, the challenge has ramped up quite a bit too, with pretty massive score requirements to get the gold medal and finish things up. And your reward? Well, we'll get there. We first have 2 secret levels. The first, Helicopter Drop, which is, it's a barge with a half pipe on it in the middle of the ocean. And you really outdid yourself with this one. We also have Skater Heaven, which is, a bunch of random geometry up in space. There's a volcano. What the heck are these? You can unlock them by doing certain things in the game, like hitting all the gaps or something, but don't do that, just use the Unlock Everything cheat. It's not really worth it for these 2. This time around, we've still got the 10 pro mainstays from Pro Skater 1 and its 2 secret characters, as well as newcomers Eric Costin, Steve Caballero, and Rodney Mullen. They all have different starting stats, but they'll be controlling exactly the same pretty darn quickly. Pro Skater 2 also introduces the amazing feature of getting to create your own Pro Skater. Whether you make someone who looks like you, or someone who couldn't physically exist on this dimensional plane, it's a game changer. And completing the game with your custom Pro Skater unlocks the first of the series' famous crazy guest characters. You see, Activision, the publisher, publishes a lot of licensed games and sorta holds some rights to the characters from those games. So you can skateboard as f***ing Spider-Man. It's insane, an uncalled for, beautiful surprise. And like the other skaters, he has alternate costumes, including Cosmic Spider-Man? So you're telling me the Unipower, the all-powerful, omniscient force that only descends from the heavens for the greatest of disasters, and sometimes even then doesn't show up, came down, put itself into Spider-Man to go skateboarding for an hour. And of course, if you're not interested in Spider-Man, the Korean version has Koreans. If you beat the game with any of them, it crashes. We've got 15 songs this time around, a definite improvement over the 10 of the original, and they are all pretty darn catchy. More rock, grunge, good old rebellious teenager music. And the standout this time, May 16th by Lagwagon, a high-energy masterpiece that shoves you into the skateboarding mood. All in all, it's still the classic rebel-rouser of a setlist you'd expect to hear. Pro Skater 2 really holds up well. It oddly does almost live up to that unattainable hype it's been given over the years. The controls have aged just a bit, but that's only because I already know that it somehow gets even better in the next entry. There's only two real issues that keep it from absolute perfection, being that I have to use the D-pad here to play the PS1 version, that can easily be solved by playing on the N64, Dreamcast, or Xbox, and the graphics have not aged kindly, which can also be improved by playing on Dreamcast or Xbox. You know, I do have the Xbox version, Pro Skater 2X, the original remake of Pro Skater 2. I have a feeling if we take a look at this one next, we might just find the definitive way to play the original Pro Skater 2 game. See you next time for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X. Alright, well I'm all done recording. I should probably check out my channel real quick though. I've been away for a while, I wonder how many subs and views I got. What the f*** is Wii U Quick Reviews?